never met anybody in the program.
So how many of us are there?
You asked too many questions.
Jason Bourne is in Manhattan.
Confirmed.
What?
That's all I have. Gotta go.
People, listen up. This is a national security emergency.
The FBI is investigating links between Treadstone and this man, Jason Bourne.
I go down for this, Mark. You were given a Ferrari, and your people treated it like a lawnmower. You're asking me to wipe the most valuable assets we've ever put in the field.
You're gonna start to consider the magnitude of what we're facing if this moves sideways on us? You mean what?
So what's going on, man?
This and that.
This and that.
A little summer vacation, a little
Get
travel.
a chance to work with a pretty gifted director. I mean, you like that. That's good, right?
Yes, I sometimes say I think that most of the best directors that I've worked with have a consistent quality, which is that they kind of revisit some of the same themes over and over and over again, whether that's like Wes Anderson or Milos Forman or Spike Lee, like people I've really enjoyed working with. Yeah, and Tony Gilroy fits that to me because if you look at the films he's written and certainly the films he's directed, I feel like Tony keeps taking a fork and sticking it in this idea of like corporations and how they control our lives and the ethical swamp that they create, you know, and so when I read this, I was curious why he wanted to keep at it with this whole
keep
story.
the franchise going forward.
because
Exactly.
he's been involved in the other ones, and I thought the most intriguing thing to me when he brought it up to me was wow, he still wants to keep going, so there's got to be something that's pulling him into it, and when I started reading it, I thought he's doing it again. He's kind of really, he's having fun, but he's challenging this notion that of the consequences of this kind of, you know, kind of spooky way in which corporations have started to dominate maybe even our military-industrial complex. You know what I mean?
Now, would you have done this movie if Tony wasn't involved?
I would never say never, but I would definitely say that he was the most persuasive. He was the most persuasive element of it for me. That was the hook to me, was that I thought if I knew I liked his films, B, I knew I liked him because he's a very smart and well-organized guy, and C, I thought, you know, if he believes in it, I bet there's something to it.
We need to talk. I need you to stop what you're doing and turn around. That's an order. We got screwed on the intel, okay? Nobody knew those people were in there. It would be perfectly normal for a person to have doubts about the morality of what we just asked you to do.
Is that a question, sir?
No, it's not. Tune into what I'm trying to say to you. Do you know what a sin eater is? Well, that's what we are. We are the sin eaters. It means that we take the moral excrement that we find in this equation and we bury it down deep inside of us so that the rest of our cause can stay pure. That is the job. We are morally indefensible and absolutely necessary. You understand?
What did you walk away with when you saw the initial Bourne movies? Because they had such an impact on a lot of other people. Or do you even not bother with that and erase that out of your mind?
No. I thought I loved them. Everybody loved them. They were like anything that kind of distinguishes it. To me, what was different about these always was that they seemed to operate close to the ground. You know, you felt on some level like that you were peeking behind the curtain on the things we read about in the papers, you know.
Right, bringing sort of the headlines to life.
Yeah, kind of peeking around like what might be going on behind those, and even though, you know, I mean, I am also a fan of James Bond films and Mission Impossible films, but those operate more in the realm of what I would call fantasy or superhero thing.
Right. This is close to the earth.
These always seemed maybe like, geez, I think we're probably doing things like that, and that's always been the fun of them, and I think that's what's clever about what Tony has done in this. For people who have enjoyed this series, I think instead of trying to restart it or anything, he's continued to kind of peek at new parts behind the curtain. He basically says, you know, everything you've been watching up to now has also been being watched by other people, and now there's consequences to from the ripple effects of these events.
Right,
And
because you got everybody like sort of
yeah,
looking at one another.
it's like he's turned and walked down into a different corridor of the whole thing and said, I'm gonna keep giving you a guided tour through the back rooms of all this stuff, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Well, congratulations, man. You always
Thanks.
do great work too,
Thank you
man.
very much.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate
Appreciate
the
it.
energy, man.